Oh. That was a false reaction. I didn't actually naturally jump to that. I just tried to be cute. I'm gonna try real hard to be cute right now because hi YouTube. Oh God. I I just tried to do a stream and I talked for 51 minutes. It happened again. How do I start this? Okay. I got a new phone and I wanted to think that my YouTube wouldn't be as much of a disastrous hassle when I try to stream from this new phone, but of course I should know better. Of course it's gonna still be many issues. That's just how things are for me. Oh God, I was just trying to do a stream for 51 minutes and the first 35 seconds of that posted, the rest did not. So I lost all the rest of it, other than the 35 seconds. Well, with this new phone that I'm trying to stream on, what can I say? I don't want to have to say everything over again. I never do want to have to do that kind of thing. I've done it many times before though, with previous streams, not with this particular one or day but anyway, oh God. Okay, so with this new phone, I think it's still trying to sync my old photos from my previous phone onto this new one. So with it trying to sync all those photos, maybe that's gonna possibly be causing some issues with this stream or with the other one. Hopefully not this one too. Also, I got the phone last night. Earlier today, I had to go to Walmart to get, of course, a different charger for my car. And the charger that I got, when I plugged it into my phone, on the right hand top of the screen, it literally says slow charger. So I've never seen a phone be that specific before or say that kind of thing. But I guess with this new phone that I'm on, it does that, or it's doing that for me. So yes, of course, I tried to get the least expensive charger I could find. And with that being the case, I guess, my phone is apparently calling me out for it. And, you know, like, hey, you got a cheap, crappy charger and it's slow. So yeah, it says slow charger. So between that and this phone trying to sync, oh, you guys, how many times was I saying that I didn't want to get a new phone, but that I wasn't gonna do it. But I went ahead and did it, I guess. Yeah, apparently it looks like I did. My phone bill is gonna be higher now, and yeah, I don't know. I'm really tired of working so hard for nothing. You know, or to just be messed with for negative results mostly. But I just have to try to remind myself, it's not just the YouTube that I got the new phone for. It's like I really wasn't able to do anything else. I wasn't really able to do anything else on my phone either. I mean, I wasn't really, text messages weren't sending, calls were dropping. A lot of times I wasn't able to sign in to the app that I have to sign in to work at the club with. So yeah, I just tried to do this stream earlier. I talked for over 51 minutes and that all didn't post or stream. So it's an interesting feeling where the first stream that I try to do on this new phone that I just got that I really can't afford, the first one I try to do, it doesn't work properly. But again, I got this phone for other reasons too, not just the YouTube. But honestly, it was mostly for the YouTube, of course. Like, a lot of the first half of that stream that I just tried to do was me in a very bad mood. And honestly, I'm kind of surprised I'm not in more of a bad mood right now, given that I just lost all of that stream and I had talked for over 51 minutes. Oh, it's 2 o'clock on the dot. I remember I said in that previous stream, I was like, oh, I started this at 1 o'clock on the dot. That's how I started that stream. I was like, I started this stream at 1 o'clock on the dot. Right after I said that, the stream disconnected and said that it reconnected. And then I was like, oh, when that's happened before, sometimes my streams haven't posted properly. So, of course, I was hoping that wouldn't happen, but it looks like it unfortunately did. So, I don't know how much of that first stream I was like really talking in a bad mood for, but it was a bit of it. And then I also said, oh, well, if the stream doesn't post properly, I mean, I was really being like a cranky ass, but so right now, especially like with that already being the case, and then also that stream not posting properly, I am trying really hard right now to just not come across as too cranky or negative or in a bad mood. However, I am. I am cranky and in a bad mood, although I'm trying not to be negative. I always try not to be negative, but it's very difficult. Yeah, for a lot of the first part of that stream that I just tried to do, I was in a very bad mood. And then I started talking about my favorite manager at the club, and I was in a much better mood. And I think, honestly, me not being in as terrible as a mood right now as I was earlier, probably, I'm still feeling the effects of talking about my favorite manager. So that's just, oh God, you guys. He's going to be leaving the club more soon than I thought. Originally, I heard it was going to be the end of April. I talked to him briefly in the kitchen yesterday. I did end up doing a shift at the club yesterday for the day shift, and I guess he's actually going to be leaving like the first week of April or shortly into the second week. So much earlier on in April than I thought. So that's no good, and it's really gonna suck when he leaves. I don't want to have to try to re-say it all again that I was just saying. It's no good. It's no good. I'm burning through more gas. I just got gas again the other day for like the 3rd time this month. I don't know. Now we just get a bunch of dead air instead. All right, you guys want to hear about my new phone? It was a complete waste of money, just like I knew it would be. Doesn't matter what device I'm on. Whoever messes with me is on every device, everything. For all I know, they've hacked into my very brain itself, probably at this point. With technology being the way it is, just the parts that we're aware of, imagine the parts that we're not aware of. Yeah, the main reason as much as I didn't want to get a new phone and can't afford it, the main reason I did was for my YouTube and also to be able to access, finally, my old pictures and videos. The storage on my old phone was so maxed out that I hadn't been able to access a lot of my older photos and videos. So I wasn't able to access, my own work. Which, for me, my photos and my videos and my YouTube are what I consider to be work. But for the most part, work that I am passionate about and am able to enjoy when it's not all, well, it does usually feel like it's constantly being messed with and compromised by things much beyond my control. But even with that being the case, I'm still able to enjoy, artistic things, photography, videos, dancing on stage at the club, doing my YouTube. So because most of what I work on and consider to be my work, because it's stuff that I do care about and that I'm so passionate about, it's unfortunately work that I'm really not being paid for. Nobody else seems to like or care about it. Especially at the club, with my dancing and my pictures and my videos of me at the club. I guess on my YouTube, that is maybe the closest semblance of support that I've seemed to be able to get with anything for ever, or if possibly for a while, if not possibly for ever. But yeah, the stuff that I choose to work on, that I care about and that I'm very passionate about, not only am I not being paid for it, I'm actually paying to do it, and I don't have an income, so I really can't afford to be spending money on this stuff. But I care about it enough, it means enough to me, that I just try to make it work anyway, as best I can for now. Pretty much every single day I feel like I can't do it anymore, but I guess technically I still can, again, for now. How much longer? I have no idea, because again, every single day feels like I just can't do it anymore. But yeah, but with my YouTube, I was saying that feels like the closest semblance of support that I've really gotten for working on stuff that matters to me. But with my YouTube, I've mentioned also quite a few times before, I just don't know if it's real or not, or if it's just made up numbers by some AI or algorithm or some person or thing just to mess with me, or just so I continue to keep trying and wasting my time and energy and efforts and money like this. I feel like I'm probably just being duped, For all I know, it could be Bill Gates just making up numbers on my screen just so I would go and spend the money on his new stupid phone that I really didn't even want to have. Or someone or something just, putting numbers on the screen, putting fake comments from AI on the screen, so it looks like I'm getting likes or subscribers or support, and then really it's just computerized or made up stuff, so So I'll just keep, yeah, wasting my time, wasting my energy, wasting my efforts, wasting my money. When I did my stream from the apartment that I stay at yesterday, that was early in the morning before I went to work. And I was mentioning a lot in that stream that I really didn't want to be doing it, like doing that stream from that location. I did watch it back later on when I was at the club. And because I was at the club, you know, working for a lot of that, I did have to watch it intermittently and like pause it at a lot of different points. And every time I paused it, I could not believe how awful I looked. I mean, a big part of why I'm terrified to stream from that location is, yeah, because of how uncomfortable I am there, but also because I know how bad I look from there, like with that lighting and with that setup. It's kind of funny because watching that back, in that stream, I had mentioned how the world kind of feels like a Nazi concentration camp, or like a, you know, like Nazi Germany, like just so strict and ridiculous with most things. But when I watched it back, I noticed that with the lighting, it kind of looked like I had a Hitler stash. Like the lighting, like my nose just kind of, the lighting cut off right here and it was darker in the middle. So I looked like I had a Hitler stash too. But also when I was pausing that video to watch it back, I already knew that I looked bad in that location especially, but that bad was just horrendous, horrifying to see again like that. And I feel I look like Gollum. I look like if Gollum had gained weight, like a fat, chubbier version of Gollum. Of course, at this point, Gollum actually has more hair than I do. So I used to look like Gollum, even more so probably when I was losing my hair and going bald, and now that I'm just completely smooth, well, just especially my face, you know, and my facial expressions, I feel like I look like Gollum from, yeah, the Lord of the Rings movies, but a chubby version, like, yeah, if Gollum had gained weight. That's what it reminded me of. But anyways, also, yeah, when I did that stream from the apartment that I stay at yesterday morning, when I finished the stream and before I left for work, it said that I had, I think, 389 views, or 300 and something. It was the upper 300s. When I got back, or when I checked my, yeah, when I got back to the apartment later and checked on it, later that night, it said 200 and something. So somehow the number of views had gone down since before I had left earlier that morning to when I got back later that night. So I just can't see how that would possibly make any sense for the views to be a lower number later on. You know what I mean? Like, how would the view count have gone down in that time frame, like, or at all? Like, that just, so that definitely adds to the feeling of like, what if my YouTube likes, views, subscribers, what if they're just a bunch of made up numbers, you know, just so that I continue to waste my time like this? Of course, I certainly hope not. And I mean, again, I don't want to offend you guys if there are real people watching this and trying to support me that way and liking and subscribing and viewing. I don't want to offend those people or detract from how much I would appreciate that. Like, I don't know if I should say do appreciate that or would appreciate that, because again, I really don't know if that's real or not. Like, there's no way for me to know. But assuming that it could be possible that it is, of course, I appreciate that so much. And I do try to like mention that a lot, but for me to see the numbers not making sense like that really does concern me, of course. Yeah, it's a pretty crappy feeling. It really is. Anyway, so back with my new phone here, I was saying so many times, I really, really, really did not want to have to go get a new phone. Just can't afford it. I just can't afford it. Or even if I could, it's not what I don't want to spend I don't want to get new things. I don't want to, spending money is very close to the top of my list of things that I hate to do. When you don't have an income and you're living off of savings that keep getting smaller and smaller, spending any amount of money at all is, for me personally anyways, it's just one of the worst feelings. Because also with prices continuing to rise. And yeah, I mean, the work that I do, I am still usually spending money on stuff, like, so as much as I don't want to. Just besides the stuff that I really just have to spend money on, but I still kind of do choose from time to time, you know, for the stuff that really matters to me, like my work. I pay to do my work rather than people paying me to do it. It's interesting, that way. So I was saying in my stream that I did from the apartment yesterday, that originally my plan yesterday was to go to where I get my phone service from. I wanted to go there after work, and originally what I wanted to do was, I had found an older phone. So rather than having to get a new phone, I had found an older phone that I had kind of forgotten about up until that point. So I wanted to bring that to the phone service, the place where I get my phone service from, and see if they could possibly transfer me onto that older phone, which originally they were able to do. So, you know, but afterwards I drove to the store, and when I was at the store, well, I had fully charged that phone earlier that day, yesterday, like pretty much when I first got to the club, and it looked like it charged fully and held the charge for the rest of that day, pretty much. The rest of the time that I was at the club doing that shift, probably about 6 or 7 hours, it was staying charged, okay, without the charger, without it actually being plugged into the charger. So I wanted to think it looked like it was doing okay. But after I left the phone store and got to the grocery store later, you know, after driving a little bit away, I was in the grocery store, and I was actually on the phone with my grandma at the time. I was at the seafood counter trying to get salmon, which once again I was too late for. Salmon's supposed to be on sale this week at that store, so I really wanted to try to get some on Thursday, but I ended up being at the gym here too late. I missed the cutoff time for when the counter closes. And same thing yesterday, right as I was getting up to the counter, the guy was still there, but he was like cleaning up. I actually got there earlier, like 10 minutes before they were supposed to close the counter, but he was already wrapping things up, you know, because so I was on the phone with my Graham, and right as I'm realizing that I'm too late to get the salmon, the call drops. So it was like two bad things at once, like F you, and I was like, okay, as usual. I know, that's the vibe, right? So but I did have just enough time to drive back to the phone place. So I did that, and even driving back, I wasn't intending to get a new phone. I was just going to try to reverse the process basically and go back to the phone that I had been on. But I don't know, while I was there, I kind of just, the guy there didn't even like talk me into it or like try to sell me on anything. It just happened. I just did it, you know. It's like, whatever. I don't know, but I was also really, I mean, yeah, and it was kind of like a rushed decision too, because they were about to close. You know, I pretty much got there right before they were about to close too. So, anyway, because I had been having so many issues with my other phone before, I mean, that phone was maxed out on storage, so I wanted to think it was probably a storage issue, but at the same time, I have so many weird things happen to me, with so many things, it seems like, that I was also worried about my phone possibly having a virus or being hacked into as well. So And yeah, it was so maxed out on storage that I hadn't been able to do the software update for a while, which I've heard can make your phone more susceptible to viruses. So, you know, I was really anxious at the phone store last night. If I were to transfer the stuff that I had on my older phone onto the new one, I was anxious about if there was a possible virus on the other phone. I was anxious about that being transferred onto this new one too. So originally the guy was like, last night, he was like, well, let's just get you a clean slate phone and you'll have to just add new stuff onto it instead. So originally, again, because it was the end of they were about to close and it was just kind of a rushed decision, I was like, all right. And then right when I got back to my apartment later, I was regretting that. I didn't care about the contacts in my phone. I didn't care about the notes. I figured I could redo that stuff. It was the pictures and the videos, you know, I was like, there's no way I'm gonna be able to just not have my old photos and videos on my new phone. With my contact list, like the contacts in my phone, my older contact list was like so long of like 90 to 95% people I don't even know. Originally with the clean slate that this phone was last night, after I first got it, I had like 9 or 10 contacts that I added in, like Taz, Paris, my mom, my gram, and I did add my favorite manager's number into my phone, but in doing that, his number was actually the only number that I didn't have to look to see what it was to add it in. His number, and as I was adding his name and number into my phone, I was kind of like questioning with myself. I was like, do I really still remember this off the top of my head? We never talk on the phone, by the way, or like even text message, but his number is actually, the last 4 digits of his number are the same last 4 digits of my number, just slightly scrambled up a little bit, but they're very, very similar. They're all the same numbers, just in a different order, basically. So I went to put in his number into my phone without looking at my old phone for that part, and just off the top of my head. And then after I did that, I went back to my older phone to see if I got it right, to see if I really did remember off the top of my head like that, and I did. None of the other numbers in my phone, by the way, I know off the top of my head. His is the only number that I know off the top of my head like that. There's one other guy from my past whose number I remember off the top of my head. It's not even an ex, by the way. It was just somebody that I used to grow weed with, and he had a really big personality. I knew him for a while, and also his number was just really easy to remember, to the point where I still remember it now, even though we haven't talked or seen each other in so long, like many, 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 many years. And he's not somebody that I would want to talk to again or see in the future, but I think just because of how much my time with him made an impression on me, and how much his personality made an impression on me, and also just the fact that the numbers in his number were easy for me to remember. So technically there's 2 people's numbers that I know off the top of my head. One of them being that guy and one of them being my favorite manager. That's it. Anyway, it's kind of funny to me to think about sometimes though, like how many people, like with different people out in the world, like whose number do they really know off the top of their heads? Anyway, so yeah, last night when I got back to my apartment, the phone that I have now, the new one, is like a clean slate. I just added a few numbers in there for the contacts. I did download YouTube right away, the YouTube app, but then I immediately was like, no, I'm gonna have to go back to that store for a 3rd time and ask them to put my old pictures and videos back like on this phone. So I got up very early this morning and did that. I got to the store right before they opened, and even though I was there before they opened, there was already excuse me, there were 3 people already standing outside in front of the door. Well, I would say So there was like, I don't know if I would say there were 2 people in front of me or 3, because one of them was a couple. So there was one guy right in front of the door with his arms crossed, and then on his side, to the side of him, there was a couple. So with couples, I kind of just see it as like one person, basically. I feel like that's pretty much how society sees couples too. Like, sure, yeah, they're like kind of individuals to an extent, but like honestly, you're basically you're basically one unit. Like, you're you're basically the same thing. Like, you're a package deal. You're, you know, yeah, I see couples as one person. I see couples as one thing. Like, they can, yeah, they're individuals to an extent, but they really don't have to be. You know what I mean? Like, no offense to anyone or anything, but I mean, being single does suck. Being single is no joke. To me anyways, like it's a living hell, honestly. It's not that I want to be in a relationship necessarily, but also being single, just, again, it's pretty awful in a lot of ways. So, mostly financially. And also just trying to like do things and like to just do everything by yourself, basically, like literally everything. So like, I don't want to offend people, but just let me have my fun, please, because again, it sucks being single for the most part. So I like to try to just make fun of couples sometimes, just to try to make myself feel better. It's all in good fun. It's not to be, rude or mean or anything. Again, it's just out of frustration mostly. But also that is kind of how society treats couples too. You're like basically a unit. You're a package deal. You're to the point where you're basically one person, practically, like in a lot of ways anyway. So that seemed like it went okay at the phone store earlier this morning. But not all of my photos and videos synced. I mean, I have over 50,000, it says, over 50,000 photos and videos. So with me starting the previous stream that I tried to do earlier, and with me starting this one, all of my photos still haven't synced yet, to where I am worried about that maybe like interfering with this stream or with the connection or something. I'm not too sure how that might go, but oh, and before I forget, I do also want to say, well, I haven't really been in as bad of a mood for this stream, but I swear the stream that I tried to do earlier, most of the first part of that stream, I was in a very bad mood. Because the connection had dropped when I first started it. And that was why too, because I knew starting that stream, I was like, I don't know if this stream's gonna post because it disconnected when it started. So I was really stressed out about that, and just I'm also stressed out, and I was saying, because today is Saturday. I have gone out every single day this week. So yeah, I did a day shift at the club yesterday. I did my usual my usual Sunday through Wednesday 10-hour night shifts back to back earlier this week. And then on Thursday I came out to do a stream, and I think I went to the gym on Thursday. Went out, did a day shift yesterday. I had to do all that stuff with my phone yesterday. And yeah, now today's Saturday and I'm back out today. I just had to do more stuff with my phone. Went to Walmart to get the stupid charger. That's clearly not a very good one. Trying to go to the gym right now after this. So up until I think last week, I went out almost every day. Whereas for most of this winter that we just had, normally I wasn't going out Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. I was still working for the most part Sunday through Wednesday, 10-hour night shifts back to back at the club. But just with the weather, like, the winter stuff, mostly I was not going out for the latter half of the week, like Thursday, Friday, Saturday. I was mostly just staying in. Whereas, yeah, now pretty recently, I'm definitely trying to go out more and do more stuff just throughout the entire week. But this week in particular, every single day I have gone out. So I am feeling very just especially tired and stressed out right now. Anyways, on to my day shift at the club yesterday. So the day shift at the club that I did yesterday, my favorite manager was there, and I've talked a lot about him on my channel in other videos before, but I was also kind of saying lately how for me to really like be able to feel like I can talk about him a little more freely on here, and like more openly, I kind of have been trying to wait until he leaves the club, until he moves, having known that he's going to be doing that, you know, for a while. I've really been sad and you know, just kind of dreading, honestly, him leaving the club. But I wanted to think an upside to that would be I might be a little more comfortable talking about him on here, like, yeah, more openly, kind of. Just because for me to fully, or like more fully talk about how I feel about him, it just feels a little more weird knowing that I'm going to be seeing him again, like in person pretty soon, like at work, and having to try to be a professional and stuff like that. He's just, it's difficult for me though, you know, because he's just really a different kind of person, it seems like to me. Just with the amount of admiration and attachment and attraction that I feel towards him. Oh, it's 2:30 on the dot. Yeah, I've been trying not to feel that way about him. And he does have a girlfriend, for anybody that doesn't like already know that hasn't already heard me mention that. So, you know, especially when that's the case with somebody, I just really try to ignore and suppress my feelings. Like if I think that I like somebody, I'm not the kind of person to like to try to like shoot my shot, I guess you could say, as the saying goes. Like if I think that I like somebody, especially if they're already in a relationship with somebody, but also like it's a mixture of, because I don't want to be that kind of person, you know, but it's kind of a mixture of that, and then just even like my own self-confidence is just really pretty bad. So yeah, and I don't even like trust my own thoughts or feelings, really. I just don't trust anything. I'm very, very skeptical about pretty much everything. Everything is just very suspicious, very sus to me, you know, very daunting and etc. But so yeah, if I think that I like somebody, I will typically, regardless of the situation, even if they're single, I will usually just try to ignore and suppress that feeling that I think that I might have towards them. And especially if they're already in a relationship, like especially so. So, you know, I have been trying, especially with this guy leaving pretty soon, I've been really trying to do that. And he had put in new lights in the club recently. So the new lights at the club, I really don't like. Whereas normally when he does stuff, I feel like he does a really good job with stuff. And I don't know if he picked out the lights himself or if he just installed them, but yeah, I really have not been liking the new lights at the club. So, but I kind of wanted to think an upside to that was like, oh good, like, you know, normally everything he does just seems so wonderful and like perfect and great, and I was trying to kind of use that as like a way to like crush on him a little less, I guess. But actually yesterday, for the day shift yesterday, he tried to show me how to do some of those lights, how to like, because I was in the DJ booth. I had gone in there when he wasn't in there to check the computer screen to see when I was going to be called on stage next. And he ended up coming back up there while I was still in there. And he started to try to show me some of the different settings with the lights on the computer screen that they have in there. And he had actually showed me how to do some of the old lights in the past, but that was a little while ago. And they're all new lights now. So, you know, I couldn't stress enough how difficult it is for me to try to imagine or picture or just imagine any other manager. There's 5 other managers that work there right now. And when he leaves, I don't think they're going to be hiring a new one. I think they're just going to be having more hours for the 5 that are still going to be there. But I just can't picture any other manager like doing that kind of thing, because I'm pretty sure they just wouldn't, especially with me, you know, like he's just a different kind of person. It seems like a different kind of guy, a different kind of manager, and just I think a different kind of person in general, in a very good way. Very, very rare. Honestly, I don't think I've ever met anyone like him. I really can't say that I have. It's like a breath of fresh air. It's something, it's been such a blessing for me to be able to like be around him and work with him. And I'm just, especially as somebody such as myself that kind of goes against the grain and kind of wants to do their own thing the way that they want to do it, if and whenever possible, which usually it isn't, but you know, yeah, being the way that I am, especially almost all the time, I feel like most other people and things kind of almost seem like against me, or just kind of like to get in my way or make things more difficult, if not damn near impossible for me. Like, whereas with this guy, he seems like he's like pretty much the only person that I can think of to seem like he would actually be somebody to help out, or like make things a little easier, or you know what I mean, like make it more possible for me to do what I want to do and have a good time and feel successful, or have a good shift at the club, that kind of, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, maybe my YouTube might be like a semblance of possible support, I guess, in a way, which I would definitely appreciate, like, if that's actually real, and not just AI or like made up stuff on the internet. But also with that, it's like I really don't know, like, you know what I mean, like any specifics, like as far as like this specific person or this, it's the internet. So this is really the only guy other than Taz in Paris, and I'm sure there's a few other exceptions, probably like my Graham, or sure, there's other exceptions, but not a whole lot that really come to mind. You know, this is just a guy and a person that really clearly comes to, like, stands out in my mind, and probably always will, as somebody that's just really seemed to go out of their way to be helpful and just positive, great vibes, and make things a little easier, a little more doable, you know. I mean, this guy seems like he knows how to do pretty much everything. Like, he just knows how to do stuff, it seems like, but he's also very humble about it. Very, very nice and very humble, and just, I could just go on, and I was in the video that I tried to do earlier, but I was in such a bad mood when I started that stream, and then towards the latter half, once I started talking about him, I was, you know, in a much better mood, and that really makes me sad that video didn't post, because you could really, I'm sure people would have been able to see the transgression, like the transition of that. I could feel it myself. And I was just thinking to myself, gosh, that probably would have been really cool to watch back on camera. Well, at the time I was thinking this will be really cool to watch back on camera if this posts properly. And then when I realized that it didn't, I was like, crap, that would have been really cool to watch probably back on camera, like in real time, when it had been in real time, you know. Anyway, but overall, yeah, even besides him trying to show me the new lights at the club. Oh, because a lot of what I didn't like about it was just a good day shift overall, basically. Even besides that part with him showing me the new lights, it was a good day shift. And with the new lights, the main big thing that I really didn't like about the new ones is a lot of what they had been set on was like a reddish color, which I would consider to be especially so like the cellulite kind of enhancing lights. But he also, yeah, in showing me a lot of the stuff in the booth with the lights, how to do that stuff with the lights in the booth yesterday. He showed me how to change the color of those, and I really appreciate that. Again, there's no other manager there that I could ever imagine would do that kind of thing ever. This guy is in a whole different class of person. Like it's just, and yeah, I mean, it was a good shift overall yesterday, which was great, but at the same time, it brings me right back to it being that much harder for me to not dread him leaving the club. I just know that it's never going to be the same there without him there. It literally could not be even close. It's just not possible, you know? Because yeah, I mean, like the music was popping, like, and for a day shift to be like that, you know what I mean? Where like the music is even better than it is during the night shifts a lot of times. Like there was a group of guys that was actually at the stage, which hardly would ever happen during a day shift. Like, are you kidding me? But it was like a combination of that and like excellent, perfect music for it. Just like really good music, really good vibes. Ooh, excuse me. And another thing that this favorite manager of mine will do sometimes, like slower shifts, but especially day shifts. Normally like during a night shift or busier times, the way that the stage will be is it'll be one dancer on stage and then the next dancer after her will come on the stage directly afterwards. Whereas slower times, and especially like day shifts in particular, they'll do what they call break sets in between dancers. So there'll be one dancer on stage and then before the next dancer comes on after her, they'll do like one or two songs in between that time. So they just call it a break set. So during that one or two song break set, nobody's expected to go on the stage, and most dancers don't. I, however, definitely I usually do. Especially, I mean, if I'm not busy doing something else, I will jump right up there, and that's extra stage time for me. That's extra exercise, extra mood boosting endorphins and that kind of thing. So there's like one other dancer that I can think of. There's a few other dancers, I guess, that would maybe do that from time to time, but I feel like I especially like really, really do that, like kind of shamelessly and like more shamelessly, more obviously, to where even if I'm getting weird looks from about it sometimes, I just don't care. Like I do, but I don't, but I mostly don't, you know? Dignity be damned. I've never really been too concerned about dignity. I really can't be. I really, you know, because it's like, I mean, come on, like the stuff that I have like on my channel, in my videos, the stuff that I talk about, the way that I am just in general, like, come on, like dignity is not a top priority of mine. It's not a top concern. I was saying in the video that I tried to do earlier, it's like, do you really think that I would have done a stream from the apartment that I was staying at yesterday looking like that, you know, like freaking a fat version of Gollum from Lord of the Rings, you know what I mean? Like, do you think I would have shown myself like that on camera if dignity was like a big concern for me? You know, dignity be damned. Dignity is just a concept that I try not to care about too much. It just gets in the way for me, you know? So yeah, and also like with the break sets, with that time in between the songs where there's no dancers expected to go on stage, you know, if I don't go up there on stage, I just see that as a wasted opportunity, just wasted time. Like, I'm a kind of very like antsy, just kind of restless person. And I kind of, especially when I'm out and about or at work, I feel the need to try to fill the time and fill the space with productivity. I don't like to just sit on my ass or waste time. I like to do stuff, you know? So yeah, I mean, especially if there's actually guys sitting at the stage like there were yesterday, I can't just stand back or sit back and just look at an empty stage with nobody on it. Even if there aren't guys by the stage there, but especially if there are. So I see that big empty stage with nobody on it, I'm gonna go up there. you know, and that's what I did yesterday. But yesterday in particular, it was one of those times where I was doing it like over and over, like every single round. So like every single, a lot of times I'll do it once or twice here and there. But yesterday I was doing it every single time. So it would be one dancer, break set, I go up. Next dancer, break set, I go up. Next dancer, break set, I go up. That was pretty much the entire shift. And honestly, I was having a blast. I did get a couple of weird looks from other dancers that maybe do actually have dignity or social etiquette and class and all of that. But, you know, there'll be plenty of time for that when, you know, he's no longer there at the club and it's back to being just another day in hell being there. You know what I mean? Like, I wanted to try to enjoy that opportunity and that time with him still being there, and me having actually been able to get to the club to do a day shift with him like that. So I was really, really happy and thankful that I was able to do that yesterday, and I'm so glad that I was able to go in, yeah, and do that. I mean, just going up on the stage like that over and over when it wasn't even technically my turn, yeah, I was having a blast, and I kind of just felt like a kid again, you know, just having fun and getting exercise and really on the ball, kind of just like running back and forth and staying busy. And yeah, I don't know. Whereas most of the time, like when it's other managers there, or it's just different with him. It's just different when he's there. It's just a different vibe. It's just a different feeling for me. And it's been really special those times like that. Whereas, yeah, normally it's kind of just another day in hell, you know? Like I said, it's just, because you can't really get that kind of thing with any other combination of factors, any other managers there. Like, it just wouldn't happen like that. It just wouldn't, like, they wouldn't allow it. It just wouldn't be like that. You know. Oh, and okay, so this is pretty much, that's so crazy to me. 53 minutes. I can't see the view count. I do have the rubber band on top of my screen. There's a plane taking off. This is right around the timestamp where my video cut off earlier. The stream that I tried to do earlier before this, I was at 51 minutes. This video right now is 53 minutes. So yeah, I have the rubber band to cover the top of the screen. It's enough to cover the view count, thank gosh. That's the main thing it's supposed to cover, but I can actually still see the timestamp. So the way that I have the rubber band right now is like perfect, because normally with the rubber band, it covers the view count, which is the main thing. That's what I'm trying to cover, but it also inadvertently covers the timestamp, which I would actually want to see. Whereas right now, just the particular way that I have the rubber band right now, I can't see the view count, so that's the good part. But I can also, this time I can actually see the timestamp. So that's excellent. Yeah, but that's interesting because the video that I tried to do earlier, when that cut off, it was 51 minutes. So right around the same timestamp. And this, I remember I was just about to get into this next part, right around the same time, which is interesting. Wow, that's like really interesting to me. Oh my gosh. So with that being said about how like it's just different with like all the other managers pretty much, like, I mean, I still like them too, but again, this guy is just different. He's on a different level. He's just a different kind of person in general. So, but okay, so this, I noticed this yesterday. I had mentioned quite a few times before in other videos how the dressing rooms at the club are like a pigsty. Like a complete pigsty. Just kind of stuff just thrown all about everywhere. But for somebody like me, I actually really kind of like that. Because I feel like everything, not everything literally, but most things can be repurposed or salvaged or just still have like a time and a place and a purpose. And I think a lot of that, it's not that I'm a hoarder or anything like that, but I am sentimental with stuff. And also, I feel like a lot of it comes from having this kind of like survivalist type of mindset to where, like, you know, if I were to see, like, anything can be, again, have a purpose or come in use when you might not realize how that might be, like, from just regular day-to-day life, like, stuff. Like, I kind of think of the stuff around me as if every object around me kind of, it's this feeling where it's like as if I were somebody stranded out in the middle of the ocean, like on a life raft, or just stranded out in the middle of the ocean, like on this little piece of whatever it would be that I might be floating on, like lucky enough to have to like support my body weight in the water like that. Like if I was on a little life raft or a little boat out there, like what, any little thing that I might have near me, like could come into, that's like a tool for survival, probably, pretty much. So, like, yeah, even in the dressing room at the club, even though being in a dressing room at the club, I'm not like stranded in the middle of the ocean or anything. It's like I still have that kind of mindset almost where it's like if I see a straw on the ground, most people would probably see the straw and just like pick it up and throw it in the trash. Honestly, no, I've seen people throw away perfectly good stuff in the trash. Like, even my favorite manager was throwing tofu into the trash yesterday. He got this like delivery meal, and this was back when we had the conversation in the kitchen when he had mentioned that he was actually leaving the club earlier in April rather than later. And he had gotten this delivery meal and he was chucking chunks of tofu into the trash. And to me, it's like, well, you can give that to somebody else. Not me, because I don't eat stuff like that. Like, I only eat stuff that I prepare myself, but like, he has a girlfriend. He could have given it to her. He could have given it to another dancer, like a homeless person. Like, there's literally homeless people that like are at the right outside, not right outside the club, but like when you go into the main road, after you pull out of the parking lot of the club, the main road there, not too far down that main road where you first pull out of the club parking lot, there are homeless people like begging for stuff there. And which reminds me, quite a few years ago, I tried to give one of them some string cheese and they didn't accept it. They didn't want the string cheese. They just wanted money. So I was like, well, excuse me. Anyway, that's one way that I've tried to clean up my car in the past. Like, if there's just stuff in my car that I like want to get rid of, there's like I'm like, hey, could you put this to use possibly? But anyways, so if I see a straw on the ground, on the floor in a dressing room, most people would just want to pick it up and throw it away. That does make sense. But for me, it's like, you know what? That straw could save somebody's life. That straw could do so many things. Maybe not in that particular moment or like a regular day-to-day life kind of thing, but in certain situations, you never know. Like that straw could come in handy and do so many things, you know? Like you just don't know sometimes, like what you might need when, or I mean, you guys can see I have so much stuff in my bag. Like you never know. You never know what could happen. You never know what you might need when you might need it. So, and yeah, like with the stuff that would be, oh, and this is right what I was saying when the other stream cut off. I was like, unless it's a dirty tissue, then just throw it in the trash or something like that. But, but so yeah, like even with paper towels on the counter, like if there's like a paper towel on the counter, that can be reused. That can, I'll take notes on it. You know what I mean? I'm always taking notes on anything that I can write on. And then I was saying in the earlier stream, I was like, unless it's obviously a dirty, crumpled up tissue, just throw it in the trash. I said it so much better the first time, you guys. Most of the stuff that I try to re-say, of course, I always say it better the first time when it's natural, you know, but anyways, it's very frustrating. So yeah, and like, there's a plane. that. That's loud. Like with me doing streams, like I've done streams from the club before. And a lot of times with doing that, what I've done is I will prop my phone onto a spare shoe, because there would just be like, there were so many pairs of shoes in the dressing rooms. Like I would say between 20 and 30 pairs of just random extra shoes. And they weren't in the way, mind you. They were under the countertop. So like, I should have taken more pictures, seriously. See, my old phone, now, oh God, now that I finally get a new phone, now I can finally have more storage space to take new pictures. Now before with my older phone, I couldn't take really pictures of new stuff like this, but I wish I could have, or I wish that I had found a way to do it, because especially they just, okay, so basically they just cleaned out all the dressing rooms in the club. All of the extra spare things that were in the dressing rooms before, they threw everything out. I don't know who exactly decided that was going to be a thing, but I have an idea. And I don't think it was my favorite manager. I'm pretty sure it was somebody else. But anyways, so yeah, but it was like, you know, the shoe, like putting a straw to use to like save somebody's life on the fly like that during a regular shift, what would otherwise be like a regular shift at the strip club, like that might be not quite very likely to happen like any given day or night, probably, that kind of situation. Whereas all of those extra pairs of like spare random shoes that we had in the dressing rooms, those can more commonly come into use, or be, you know what I mean, come in handy in a very practical way, like day-to-day, night-to-night life. Like if there's a new dancer or just any dancer there that might need a pair of shoes to borrow, like me, I would do this all the time, like a spare pair of shoes to borrow. We had so many pairs of shoes that, again, they really weren't in the way. They were all under the counter. So it's not like people are like stepping over them or tripping on them. They're under the counter, like they're out of the way. Or they're not there anymore at all. So, you know, we would have like there was a communal hairbrush that I would use all the time, because I can't even find I have a little fold up hairbrush in this bag. For me to access anything in this bag, I have to take out most of the stuff that's in here. I have so much stuff in here, for me to get anything out, I have to take off the first top 1 or 2 or 3 layers of stuff and take it all out onto the area in front of me, around me, to get what's underneath, or to get anything out of there. It's just a huge jumbled mess. So yeah, the communal big paddle hairbrush that we had was so nice, and that's gone now, I think. We had like shared curling irons and flat irons on the countertops. Like we all shared a lot of stuff, and it was no big deal. We all trusted each other and just shared like sisters, and it was a great feeling. Like I don't have sisters. I had never had that before, and you know, that's like a big thing for me, to share stuff and just leave it out and just trust that it will still be there the next day. All my stuff, I feel like I have to lug around with me and just have in my person at all times, because I've had stuff go missing from my apartment. I've had my landlord's apartment. I've had stuff go missing from my car. I've had stuff go missing from the locker that I borrow there at the club. So yeah, I feel the need to have everything that I might need the most on my person at all times. So to occasionally have a few things there at the club that we were all sharing and just leaving out and not locking up under lock and key, and then we were just trusting each other to just keep it there and share it, and then we would come back into work the next day or night or whenever it was, and it would still be there. And it was like that for months and months, if not years and years. We would just all still have the same stuff there that we were sharing. Now it's all gone. They threw it all away. I don't know why. They said it was to make more room for cleaning. They don't clean up there. It's still, the floors, that's such a crock of crap. Like, that's not the reason. They just wanted, it's just evil. where that hairbrush, the big communal hairbrush, the paddle brush that was perfect for my wigs that are always such a freaking mess, where that was on top of 2 3-door cabinet things, 3 cabinet. Okay, so last summer, I talked about this before, but last summer, oh, okay, so one of the things that had gone missing from my apartment was my favorite corset. Not this one, obviously, but see how I'm wearing a corset right now? Yeah, my very favorite corset was this, like this, except burgundy, which would have matched my hair extensions, and that went missing from this plastic 3 drawer cabinet thing. Two of them. Well, it went missing from one of them, but when I noticed that had gone missing from one of them, I freaked out, and I had 2 of those cabinets, the same version of them. So I brought them into the club last summer, and not only that, but I stuffed all 6 drawers, so all 3 drawers of each one, I stuffed full of, you know, extra clothes and outfits that I didn't want or like need anymore. I brought that stuff into the club and brought it into the dressing room. It was off to the side, completely out of the way. Like, I can't stress enough how not in the way those things were. Like, there was a doorway, right? So, like, here's the doorway. Here's the doorway up there. Not the actual door, but it's hard to explain. There's no door, but it's like an open space, like a doorway. It's 3 o'clock on the dot. The cabinets were, here's the doorway on this side. The cabinets were over here. So not near the doorway. They were on the side of the doorway. They were completely out of the way, you guys. And we were all sharing outfits out of there. We put the hairbrush on top of it. I brought all the clothes that are in those cabinets. Oh, and I had permission to do that. You know who gave me permission to bring those into the club? My favorite manager. You know what else I brought into the club at that same time? A beanbag with a pillow. You know where that beanbag ended up being? Under the counter, the other counter upstairs, completely out of the way. You never know. Somebody could be sick or just need to pass out on that sometime. Like, there's nothing else. We used to have other stuff like that up there. We used to have furniture. We used to have places to sit down, and otherwise all that's there now is one big open cold ass floor. There's nothing up there for any level of like decency or comfort or shred of mercy anywhere to be found now. Years ago, we used to have furniture. We used to have like a little table side drawer. We used to have a nice big couch and chair in there. Or not couch, but chair. We used to have places to set our stuff down, to sit down ourselves. You know, it's like over the years, they just take more and more away. They just take it, and for no good reason. It's like, literally all that's up there now is just nothing. There's lockers and a cold floor. Big, open, empty, devastated space of sadness and despair. How can you be a happy person inside? How can you have that effect on the world around you and smile about it and feel good about yourself? How do you have that impact on the world around you and you're happy about that? You know what I mean? Like, who and why caused these things to happen? I just can't imagine. I can't imagine. I don't understand. I donated those clothes in those cabinets. I had permission to bring those things in. I made sure that I did. And they had been there since last summer. They had been there for some time. Not even a full year, though. I donated the cabinets. I had, all of them were full of clothes. I donated those clothes. I didn't ask for dancers to buy them off me, or I didn't try to sell them to people. I didn't get a dime for any of that. One dancer voluntarily gave me a $20 bill. One dancer gave me $20 many months ago after she realized that I had been the one to bring all that stuff in. Because, yeah, I just kind of brought it in, and I guess eventually word got out, and other dancers were just going in there and just grabbing stuff and taking it, which was fine. I did kind of just donate it, but one of the dancers, once she realized that I had done that, she asked me about it, and when I told her that, yes, I had been the one to bring that stuff in, she handed me a $20 bill and was like, "Oh, thank you, I took some stuff from there." She was the only dancer to do that, and you know who that dancer was? I actually just found out about this recently, but that dancer apparently was my favorite manager's niece or stepdaughter. Taz, my dancer friend Taz actually told me about this. This is something in some of my pending notes that I had wanted to mention because, oh gosh. Okay, so I wanted to save this part for another video, but now I'm just being reminded of it. I noticed my favorite manager's old vehicle. I noticed this dancer that had tipped me the $20. I noticed her driving around his old vehicle after he got a new one. And again, he has a girlfriend. So when I saw this other dancer driving around his old vehicle, which is still a nice ride, by the way, like a big, nice SUV, and like in pretty good condition, it seemed like. And when I noticed her driving this around, I noticed this months and months and months ago, like quite a while ago. For the longest time, I kind of just assumed that maybe like they kind of had a thing together, or maybe she was like his side project, not project, but like side, I don't want to say side piece, but like, but I did always think that was weird because my favorite manager, I was saying, like, he seems like such a nice guy, and he doesn't really seem like the kind of guy to be like somebody that would cheat on their partner. Of course, I could be wrong. I mean, some people, you know, nobody's perfect and that kind of thing, but I did kind of think it was like out of character. Like, it seemed out of character to me that he would like be fooling around with a dancer having a girlfriend. And I was like, that doesn't make sense. Like, but so for the longest time, I was a little jealous, honestly, like, of course, like, but for the longest time, I just thought that was weird and didn't really get it. And just recently, Taz and I had been talking out back in the kitchen as well, and I forget how it came up, but she told me that apparently this dancer that was driving around his other vehicle, his older vehicle, I guess he raised her, basically. She's like his stepdaughter or his niece, something like that. I forget which exactly, but I guess they're either like related or he raised her, adopted her possibly. I'm not too sure, but she said that Taz said that he raised her. So I was like, oh, okay, that makes sense now that she would have his old vehicle. But it's interesting to me now, thinking about it, that that niece of his or that stepdaughter of his, whichever it might be, also tipped me that $20 for the outfits just voluntarily. I mean, I didn't ask for her to do that. She brought it up and she just gave that to me. So that's really interesting to me. Anyway, well, all of the rest of the few outfits that had still been in those cabinets are gone now, along with the cabinets themselves and the beanbag. The beanbag is gone, the pillow, like everything's just, they just threw it all away. How do you throw away perfectly good stuff like that? Or what did they actually do with it? Tell me that they at least brought it to one of their houses. Whoever did that, whichever manager, whoever cleaned that stuff out of the dressing rooms, please tell me they donated it to somebody in need or gave it to one of the family members, or like something. Don't just throw it away. How can you be like that? How do you do that kind of thing? Like, I will never, ever, ever even come close to being able to understand how a person could be like that and why and just how. How could that really be how somebody is? Like, I don't know. I just don't get it. All right, let me look at my notes here. Most of that was all freestyle. Not only freestyle, but most of that was me trying to re-say stuff I had already said or tried to say. Oh my goodness. All right, so there's stuff I will save for next time. All right, yeah, I'm gonna wrap this up in a few minutes. I'm gonna get into the gym. My phone is pretty much directly in the sun right now, which is kind of freaking me out. My new precious phone, oh my gosh. At one point, when I started one of these streams earlier, I don't remember if it was this one or the other one that I tried to do. It was cloudier then and less sun. There's nowhere in this parking lot that I can try to park right now. There's no shade anywhere. So this is really driving me nuts. I can't see myself in the screen as usual. I'm sure there's messiness everywhere that I don't think I tried to get a thumbnail yet. Excuse me. Oh my gosh. Guys, oh my gosh. Fake smile for the camera. No, let me just think about my favorite manager. Oh God, but he's leaving. He's leaving! I'm going to try to imagine that he's not leaving and just think about him and smile. Oh. I can't really do it because I know he's leaving, but okay. All right, enough of that. Whatever. I am upset that I broke and gave in and got this stupid new phone that I really don't want to even have. However, we're gonna try to focus on the positive parts about things. Better check my notes to remind myself of what those might be. That I don't know off the top of my head. What I know off the top of my head is that I'm upset about the phone. I'm very upset. Very upset. What I need to reference my notes for is what's the upside of this? What's the upside? What's the upside? Oh. With my old phone, pretty much all of the apps were messing up and freezing and not working at different random times, it seemed like. So for a while there, last week, I wasn't able to sign in to the app that we have to sign in for the club with. And then when the app was back to working though, after some time of not working, it went back to working randomly the other night. And I was saying like, okay, so I better try to book as many bookings, as they call it. I better try to book as many shifts in advance as possible. But when I tried to book a bunch of shifts in advance after that, they only let you scroll on the app like 1 week in advance. So you can scroll like 1 week ahead to book, to request bookings 1 week in advance, but it doesn't scroll any further than that. So in that way, I'm glad that I just got the new phone because I wouldn't want to have to worry about signing in for work on their stupid freaking app, which we already sign in on their computer system a whole separate way anyways. We shouldn't have to do an app. Like that's only so they can hack into our phones and spy on us. Like, let's be honest, that's the only reason they have the app for the club. It's gotta be, like, that's the only logical explanation. Everything these days is just evil. Like, come on, like, it's just unnecessarily evil. Like, throwing away all that stuff in the dressing rooms, that's evil. There's no other word for it. There are other words for it, but evil fits the bill. The other upside for the new phone. Oh, the other upside, this will actually make me smile too. The other upside to the new phone, Taz, I did get a comment from somebody asking about when I'm gonna do another video with Taz, and Taz herself had also asked me about going live together pretty recently, and I was really excited that she brought it up because up until then, like the videos that we had done together at the club before, it was all me interviewing her, and we were saying how the next time we go live together, it was going to be her interviewing me, and I kind of wanted to wait and let her ask me to do that, like let her decide when the time would be right and like when she was ready with her questions and when she wanted to do it. And I kind of like I was kind of just thinking like she was probably just not going to bother to like get around to asking me anytime soon, if ever. Like I was like, she doesn't really care. Like, she doesn't really want to know anything about me. I'm not that interesting. Of course I want to know about her because she's young and hot, and I'm just like this sorry ass aging stripper that misses the good old days and wants to know all her dirty secrets because she's still young and hot. But why would she want to know about me? Like, like, tell us about how awful things are for you, Tinka. Tell us just how awful it is. Because of just how fat and ugly you are. No, Taz is really nice, but that's like, you know, that's how my brain works towards myself, and that's how most other people seem to treat me and think about me a lot of times. Anyway, so when she asked me, when she brought it up herself the other day, she was like, oh, let's go live again. And I was like, oh, wow, she does still want to do it. So I was like really excited. But then, so she asked me about that shortly before my phone really got bad. I mean, my phone... So she asked me about that before my actual YouTube app on my old phone offloaded. So when she asked me that, yes, my phone was still having issues, my older phone, but not quite to that extent, not quite that bad. At least my YouTube was still working at that point back then. But the club was a little busier that night that she asked, so we didn't get around to finding the time that night. But so shortly after she had asked me that, like a few days or a few nights later, that's when the YouTube app on my old phone actually just crashed or offloaded. I guess the storage at that point on that old phone was so maxed out that it was just trying to offload whatever app it could, or I don't really know exactly, but so I was trying to reinstall my YouTube app on the older phone and it just wouldn't reinstall. It was freezing up. So at that point I was like, because yeah, I mean, I was trying to tell myself that I would be able to just keep streaming from my laptop at the apartment that I stay at, but being reminded, again, I already knew that I looked bad in there, but being reminded of just how bad I look on that camera on my laptop, having the image flipped around and just the lighting in there with the Hitler stash and just everything about streaming from there. I might, okay, so with that being said, I might actually still do it from time to time, just to practice and just to try it out, but I still really want to be doing my streams primarily from my car, just like I have been. But yeah, when I realized that my YouTube app on my older phone had completely like crapped out just a few days ago, I was like, oh no, because that's when I was trying to tell myself that I was just going to be able to, I was going to just have to stream from the apartment that I stay at instead. So I was like, crap, like, you know, I never have people over the apartment that I stay at, and I wouldn't want to because I'm not comfortable with that kind of thing. My OCD is really bad, and everything from the outside just feels dirty to me. It's a long, weird try for me to try to explain the weird quirks and details of that, but I don't want anybody else in that building. Like, that's supposed to be my space. If stuff has gone missing from there, which it has, if other people go in there when I'm not there, obviously I can't control that. That's beyond my control, unfortunately. But at least when I am there, I'm not going to willingly and purposefully allow anybody else into that space while I'm there. That's supposed to be my space. That's why I pay for it. I'm trying to buy myself some freaking space in this world. Like, at least, even if it's temporarily just not have people around me for a moment in time at least, or even though I can hear my neighbor right through the wall, like 2 feet away from me, nonstop 24/7 when I'm there, like just constantly. Anyways, that's besides whatever. So then when I was like trying to tell myself that I was only going to be able to stream from the apartment that I was staying at, that I am still currently staying at for now, I was like, oh no, like Taz and I won't be able to do our lives anymore from the dressing room. And then I was like, well, maybe she can just download the YouTube app on her phone and we can do it that way. But honestly, I would be too paranoid. Logging on or trying to log on my channel name from another person's phone. You know what I mean? Regardless of whose phone it would be, just like any other phone, any other device other than my phone or my laptop. Like, it has to be my device at least. So now that I have this new phone, hopefully Taz and I will be able to go live together again pretty soon. So for whoever, I'm sorry, I forget off the top of my head, but for whoever asked about that and was asking about her, she did mention to me recently that she wants to come back on. So hopefully we'll be able to make that happen pretty soon on my new phone that I don't want to have. But I do want to have Taz come back on with me. So yes, we'll focus on that. And I would love for Paris to come back on too, but Paris is shy. I think she seems to be a little bit on the shyer side. Anyways, so I am myself too, actually, I'm actually very shy, which is a big part of why it's so weird to me that I'm able to be a stripper and do my YouTube like this. But I'm like a weird mix. I'm like a very weird, contradictory mix of a lot of weird different things. So anyway, oh my God, there's like a car shining directly. Oh God, things annoy me so much. There we go. See, like, it's nice to have sunlight for the warmth, kind of, but then it's like it reflects off of everything and it gets too hot. The sun is definitely getting closer to the earth, or the earth is getting closer to the sun. Whichever one it might be, the sun is so much stronger now. Global warming is definitely a thing. And yeah, winter's too cold, summer's too hot. They're both excruciating to me. I know I complain about winter all the time, but I don't like summer either. So I can't even just like a regular, this isn't even a happy medium kind of day in March. In March, I'm too hot here in my car, and I was freezing cold earlier in the apartment that I stay at. So anyway, yay Taz, and yay my favorite manager, and yay Paris. They all make me smile, and I love them all so much. Sucks that my favorite manager is leaving. I am going to miss him so much, but at least maybe with him, maybe once he has moved, maybe, well, definitely I will be talking about him even more. And even more juicy details about, well, there's not really like juicy details necessarily, but I'll be talking about him even more, trust me. Hopefully not crying while doing so, but I'll definitely be talking about him more. Anyways, what can I wrap this up with? Yes, today is Saturday. Oh crap, tomorrow is Sunday. I'm working tomorrow. I haven't really technically had a full day off at all this week, so tomorrow might be interesting. I don't know. I'm gonna go into the gym. Last time I was here at the gym a few days ago, I think on Thursday, possibly, or I'm pretty sure it was Thursday, I got 7 miles. 7.5 miles, actually, which I was very happy with. Today and right now, I don't think it'll be 7 miles. I probably wouldn't even be able to go in there unless I had done this stream, or this stream and the other one prior, or tried to do the other one prior. But doing this just like wakes me up, apparently. It actually gives me energy, I think, to do my YouTube. Whereas when I was coming over to this, when I was leaving, after I went to the phone store and then went to Walmart, when I was leaving Walmart to come over here to the gym, I was like, there's no way I'm going to be able to go in there. I was so tired and just not. I was like, there's no way. And now I feel like there's a way. At least for that, for today, for me to go into the gym. So that's what I'm going to do right now, or in a moment. Yeah, I guess since tomorrow's Sunday, I will probably be trying to work tomorrow, and hopefully I'll be able to get up in time to also do a stream with you guys, which will be my second stream. Well, second or third, depending on how you look at it. It'll be one of my new streams here on my new phone. So anyway, hopefully this one posts okay. Anyway, I hope you guys are well. Until next time. Peace out for now. All right, I'm gonna move the rubber band. We are, oh my goodness. Oh, God, it's really hot in here. At least, okay, so I'm hoping at least the apartment that I sleep at and eat at and shower at, the apartment that I've been staying at, I really hope it'll be warmer when I get back in there, because it was so cold. It felt so cold to me earlier when I was leaving this morning. And it's been hot out today though. My thermostat in my car says 44 degrees. But with the sun, it feels hotter. You know how like when it's cold, with the wind, it feels colder? Whatever temperature it might be right now, 44 or whatever, with the sun, it feels much hotter. Well, I should keep them rolled up because I'm gonna be signing off. But anyways, sorry. It's hot. I just hope it's warmer back in there in the apartment when I get back. If it's this hot in here, it's gotta be warmer in there later. I want to hope. Anyway, okay, so I hope you guys are well. Thanks for watching. Till next time. Bye.